Welcome to Monday Media Review, where I review media on Monday to make your Monday better. This can be anything from movies to TV shows to video games to any kind of media in general. Today's episode, we're going to be talking about Napoleon Dynamite. I grew up with this movie, and I'm sure if you're seeing this, you did too. We're just going to be talking about and analyzing it a little bit. We're not going to be looking too deep into it for any kind of deeper meaning or anything. So let's get into it.
Fall is here, hear the yell, back.
The movie starts off with this really cool and unique opening credit scene. I feel like most of the budget of the movie probably went to this. This is like the most high budget thing in the entire movie. And the aesthetic of the opening scene alone should let you know what you should be expecting from this movie. It gives you that soft small town feeling. After the cool ass intro is over, we get introduced to our main character, Napoleon Dynamite. He like a loser, but I don't know if he's self-aware that he's a loser. He always kind of seemed clueless, but he definitely not stupid or anything. He don't have no friends when we first get introduced to him.
What are you gonna do today, Napoleon?
Whatever I feel like I want to do. Gosh!
I'm pretty sure it's implied that Napoleon Dynamite thinks everyone around him is idiots. Every conversation he has, he seems to be ever so slightly annoyed, just like when that ugly ass little kid asked him what he was going to be doing today. I feel like the way that he reacted to such a simple question can get the viewer to think one of two things. Either Napoleon hella weird and misunderstood, or that he deserves no sympathy for being a fucking loser. Me personally, I just thought it was hella funny. This nigga is so bothered that he got asked that question. So Napoleon get to school and he gotta like do a speech in front of the class or some shit.
Last week, Japanese scientists placed explosive detonators at the bottom of Lake Loch Ness to blow Nessie out of the water.
So if you can't tell by now, Napoleon is hella awkward. This scene right here is supposed to introduce you to that, in case that first scene of him talking to the ugly ass little kid went over your head. Napoleon is kind of like that one kid from elementary school that would say that he had powers or something. He just say and do a lot of nonsensical shit that he thinks is cool. And I think that that's the best part, because everyone has a Napoleon Dynamite in real life. You might even be the Napoleon Dynamite with your dry ass lips. Now don't try to lick that shit now. Napoleon Dynamite went to gym class, and now gym class is over, so he gotta go to the locker room.
Hey Napoleon, what'd you do all last summer again?
I told you, I spent it with my uncle in Alaska hunting wolverines. They kept trying to attack my cousins. What the heck would you do in a situation like that?
So Napoleon Dynamite getting soft bullied by this ugly ass generic jock nigga. They doing that thing where they take advantage of the fact that someone is not self-aware. Like how back in middle school, if you weren't wearing name brand shoes, they'd be like, I like your shoes. And I really hope the producers chose this ugly ass nigga on purpose, cause him being so fucking ugly really makes you side with Napoleon even more. This nigga looked like the dab me up meme from a few years ago, and even that fucking emoji looked better than him. Napoleon not feeling good, so he attempt to try to go home, but his brother don't want to come get him. While he in the hallway, he see the principal talking to this new kid named Pedro, and he offers to show him around.
Yeah, there's like a buttload of gangs at this school. This one gang kept wanting me to join because I'm pretty good with the bow staff.
The movie never talk about it, and they never even imply it really, but I like the headcanon that Pedro is always fried out of his fucking mind every time he's on screen. I mean, just look at this dude. You gonna sit here and tell me that he's not high as fuck right now? This is pretty much where Napoleon and Pedro's friendship starts. Napoleon think his bike hella cool, so they go to take it off some ramps. And I always found it kind of fire how they clicked instantly, because they two different types of awkward. Napoleon is more out there with his awkwardness. He don't know he awkward, so he just really don't know when to fucking stop. Pedro isn't really traditionally awkward. He just kind of quiet and soft-spoken, and he kind of seemed like he got anxiety. I think that's why even though these niggas barely interact for real other than a few sentences, their chemistry is just so fucking great.
Your brain doesn't fucking work, you idiot.
Napoleon is at home now, so we get to see some of his home life finally. We get to meet his grandma and his brother Kip. The grandma only in the movie for like 5 minutes, so she really don't matter. Kip is Napoleon's older brother who is also a loser. He liked to sit at home and chat online all day.
Napoleon, don't be jealous that I've been chatting online with babes all day.
Well damn, it's no wonder Napoleon is a fucking loser. Just look at his role model. Napoleon says later on in the movie that Kip is 32.
Kip is like 32 years old.
So I'm gonna assume Kip is on his Chris Chan shit and he don't want to leave home and get a job, and he keep looking for girlfriends. And this movie came out in 2004, so it's very likely Kip was one of the first incels ever. The grandma is going to be leaving for a few days, so she leaves their uncle in charge of them. But before the uncle gets there, some random girl comes to Napoleon Dynamite's door.
Would you like to look like this?
This is a girl.
They have this awkward ass interaction where she trying to sell a photo shoot session to Napoleon Dynamite, but she also awkward as fuck, so she got like anxious and just shoved all her equipment into Napoleon's arms and ran off. The scene feels like an awkward ass interaction that could probably happen in real life between two losers. But after that, Kip asked Napoleon Dynamite to pull him into town. So this is actually Kip's preferred method of transportation. Nigga, why didn't you just ride Napoleon's bike? And look at this dude's outfit. Look at his stance. I don't think he was chatting with babes online all day. I think he might have been chatting with DILFs or something. So the reason Kip had Napoleon pull him into town is so he could come to this dojo that he saw on TV. But he quickly realized he not cut out for this. So they take their stupid asses back home after realizing that was a waste of time. Now it's the next day at school and Napoleon is a part of this weird expressive dance thing. So I guess that this means that he does have hobbies, because he also appears in the FFA class later on in the movie. I mean, at least it seems like he's interested in something unlike Kip. Did y'all see that? One more time. This ugly ass nigga looking around the classroom for laughs. I just can't stand this nigga's face. Every time he's on screen, I get angry. This guy from Street Fighter 4 looking ass nigga. Look like somebody dropped an anvil on his face when he was a baby. I really just can't stand when a dude don't know when it's time to stop playing around. Like, why are you looking around for laughs, you ugly bitch ass nigga, man? Now it's later on in the day, and Napoleon and Pedro are talking about who they're gonna take to the school dance. Pedro don't even think for a second before he says he's gonna take the popular girl to the dance. And y'all still don't believe he high? The Zah gave him a confidence boost.
Who are you gonna ask?
That girl over there.
How the heck are you gonna do that?
Build her a cake or something.
He don't even have a plan yet. He said build her a cake or something. Note how he said that shit like he don't even care if it goes wrong.
Build her a cake or something.
If you were more like Pedro, maybe your lips wouldn't be so dry. Don't try to lick them now. Don't, nah, I caught you again.
Are you gonna eat your tots?
No.
Lord have mercy. We must stay focused.
So Napoleon Dynamite sees the girl that came to his house the other day in the lunchroom, and he asked Pedro, he like, do you dare me to go talk to her? If it was Pedro, he would have just walked up to her.
Do you dare me to go talk to her?
Sure.
I have all your equipment in my locker.
Where's your locker?
So he takes her to his locker and gives her all her stuff that she left on his porch back. And this is the start of their relationship thing, kinda sorta. But like not really, cause Napoleon's just too stupid to make a fucking move. You could just tell by the way that she act every time he's around that she want him. Grandma gets into an accident on her vacation thing, so she's gonna be gone way longer than we thought. Which means that we're gonna have to stay with the uncle nigga that I mentioned earlier for longer than just a day. Here we have yet another example of someone in the Dynamite family just being useless. This is Uncle Rico, aka Rico Dynamite. He peaked in high school and all he does is reminisce about 1982. You can pretty much look at him as the antagonist of the film.
What are you doing here, Uncle Rico?
Grandma took a little spill at the sand dunes.
You don't have to stay here with us. We're not babies.
Uncle Rico pretty much only exists to make Napoleon Dynamite life even harder in this movie. It seemed like he got some sort of personal hatred towards Napoleon. The whole movie he's like cool with Kip, but every time Napoleon come around he wanna act different.
So what do you think?
Pretty cool, I guess.
Man, I wish I could go back in time.
Yeah, he's literally just stuck in 1982, which now it kind of makes sense why he hates Napoleon. Even though Napoleon is a loser, I feel like some part of Uncle Rico feels threatened that Napoleon could have a better life in school than he did. Uncle Rico takes Kip out to dinner so he can tell him about his money-making project.
We might be able to make a little moolah with it.
Really?
Have you ever heard of nylon polymer?
So Uncle Rico basically finna use Kip as a minion for his money-making scheme. And Kip, he all in for it because he trying to fly his online girlfriend out. Meanwhile, Pedro and Napoleon are at the popular girl's house getting ready to leave her the cake. This shit is hella creepy. Y'all really stalked her house out? What if a fucking car drove past or something? So it's the next day at school again and Pedro didn't come today, so Napoleon playing tetherball alone. Really? That was your plan to impress the hoes, trying to kick the tetherball? What even made you think that the hoes would find this shit impressive?
Idiot. You're honestly an idiot.
I could see if you were playing basketball, because girls universally find basketball attractive, but I bet you could comb through every single woman in history. Not a single woman has ever said, oh my god girl, he played tetherball. But some are basically give Napoleon a note to give to Pedro. This shit is so fucking petty, bruh. You got like hearts and arrows and shit on there like you was gonna say yes just to say no. But if anybody can take heartbreak like a champ, it's my boy Pedro. Napoleon hanging out after school cause he missed a bus and that girl come to talk to him again.
Do you need a ride?
No, I missed the bus today, but my uncle's coming to get me.
Napoleon gotta be the dumbest nigga I ever seen. Girls like this be the freakiest ones. Why you think she offered him a ride? She want him so fucking bad and it's obvious. Here's how I would've handled it.
Do you need a ride?
Let's go. 9 months and 377 raw dog sessions later. And I would do it all over again. So now Kip and Uncle Rico trying to get business cards so they can look official.
We also need some way to make us look official. We need like some name tags with our picture on it, all laminated and whatnot.
I don't think no amount of laminated name tag can make Kip look like he not trying to steal your kid. Anyway, Kip must have overheard that girl coming to Napoleon Dynamite door earlier in the movie because they go to her to get professional photos taken for their name tags.
That was one.
This was your professional pose, nigga? It don't matter how kind you was. Once you show me your business card, and fuck off my lawn. So it's the next day at school again, and Napoleon tells Pedro that Summer said no.
Well, she said no.
She did? Well, what about that other girl? Feel her a cake or something. Well, what about that other girl? Feel her a cake or something.
Now take note of this. He was sad for a second. Was he even sad? I don't even think this was sadness. He was just trying to figure out the next girl he could find. Pedro was truly that guy. He didn't dwell on it for a second. It's just one less bitch for him to worry about. You might be wondering what other girl he's talking about. He's talking about the girl that has a crush on Napoleon.
The one that left all that crap on your porch. While I asked her out too.
What? What?
Your bitch, Napoleon. He took your bitch. You could tell by how Napoleon said what that he actually was interested in her. Didn't I try to tell him earlier, y'all? He snoozed and he fucking losed. And I dare any of y'all to try to call Pedro a bad friend. Pedro's not a fucking mind reader. How was he supposed to know that Napoleon wanted her? Now Napoleon is upset because he feels like he's not gonna have no one to go to the dance with, and he thinks that he doesn't have good enough skills to get anyone.
Well, nobody's gonna go out with me. I don't even have any good skills.
Aren't you pretty good at drawing like animals and warriors and stuff?
So Pedro basically makes Napoleon think he can get any girl if he just draws him a picture. Maybe if we were in elementary school that could work, but Napoleon goes through the yearbook and he finds the girl he wants to draw, and he gets to drawing. Meanwhile, Uncle Rico and Kip are hustling plastic bowls on the street.
These are some serious Newpont fiber woven bowls.
Dang it!
I mean, what could you possibly expect it to happen? I know you're not the brightest in the bunch, Kip, but it's a plastic bowl. It's not made out of fucking titanium. Why would it be able to withstand being ran over? Napoleon getting ready to go to the girl that he made the drawing of house so he can give it to her. But she's not there when he gets there. Only her mom is. So he gives the drawing to her mom, and Uncle Rico is also at the house trying to sell his products.
She's at a friend's house right now.
Hey, Napoleon. He still wets the bed and everything.
I could never understand why Uncle Rico is trying to ruin Napoleon's life. And like I said earlier, I feel like it has a lot to do with Napoleon still being in school. Uncle Rico feels like that he could probably succeed in something that he wasn't able to back in 1982. But that's hella lame, nigga. You're like 40. Napoleon's like 18 or 17.
Napoleon, looks like you don't have a job.
Why don't you go eat a decrepit piece of crap?
Huh? So the girl that Napoleon made the drawing for is finally home, and she's so excited to open up her package.
There's a lot more where this came from.
No, I can't lie. Receiving this drawing, she wouldn't even be in the wrong if she didn't go to the dance with Napoleon. I used to be so mad, like, oh, you stupid bitch, you don't want to dance with Napoleon. But then, like, I realized, like, look at this drawing. Her mom forced her to go to the dance with Napoleon, even though she don't want to.
You know you're gonna go to that dance with that boy.
Meanwhile, Napoleon Dynamite is doing some work for some money, only to prove that he can make money to Uncle Rico and Kip. It's this farm owner dude, he want them to move hens into cages. Why was this the first job you went for? You were in 2004 where you could make a living off working at McDonald's. The farm dude pays them in change, and he only pays them $6. Now it's finally time for the school dance. Napoleon pulls up with Trisha. She sees her friends and leaves this nigga almost instantly after arriving at the dance.
I'll go over by my friend Pedro and dance really quick.
The scene is actually pretty sad. Napoleon is like looking around and he sees all the couples dancing, and he even sees Pedro dancing with Deb. And I can't show it with the audio, but they had this sad ass song playing, and in all seriousness, it just makes you really feel bad for Napoleon because he just misunderstood. But it's fine though, because Pedro is such a W fucking friend that he lets Napoleon dance with Deb.
I let you dance with Deb for a few songs.
And it feels natural because this is what they were meant to be doing the entire time. Alright, the mushy shit is over now. That's the saddest that the movie gets. Pedro decides to run for class president.
Then who are you gonna vote for? Vote for Pedro Sanchez. Who do you think?
And after this scene, y'all can't tell me that Pedro don't be high as fuck. Pedro randomly gets so fucking hot that he thinks his hair is the reason that he's hot, so he cuts it all off. And I don't know about y'all, but that sounds a lot like the first time that I ate 200 milligrams. He don't want to do his class president speech bald, so Napoleon and Deb get him a wig. And he looks surprisingly natural in that shit too. They're putting up flyers and shit so that way they can compete with the popular girl who's also running for class president. Meanwhile, Kip finally raised enough money to fly his online girlfriend out. Yeah, so Kip has an ebony girlfriend, and I can't lie, I wish I could go back in time and see myself react to that for the first time ever. And she's like super into him too. You got my respect, Kip. I'm not gonna lie. Uncle Rico is out ruining Napoleon's reputation for literally no fucking reason. He's out giving breast enhancement papers to girls that Napoleon goes to school with. It's pretty weird. He even goes as far as to put these onto Napoleon's locker. Napoleon's had enough, so he goes to square up with Uncle Rico bitch ass.
Everybody at school thinks I'm a freaking idiot because of you.
I didn't realize it till this rewatch, but Uncle Rico is so fucking weird. He's fucking 40 years old terrorizing his 17-year-old nephew for what? Cause he didn't like your fucking DIY football tape that was fucking trash? You peaked in fucking high school, you don't got no wife, you don't got no kids, and you homeless. After putting the beats on his dumb ass uncle, Napoleon think he deserve a reward for himself. He picks up Dequan's dance grooves cause he wants to learn how to dance now. LaFonda, which is Kip's ebony girlfriend, give Napoleon Dynamite a song he can dance to.
Here, you might like that. My cousin made it.
LaFonda gave Kip some of that chocolate cake, by the way, so now he just a nigga. Uncle Rico give Deb one of the breast enhancement papers and says that Napoleon told him to give it to her.
Hello?
And I'm calling to let you know I think you're a shallow friend.
What the heck are you even talking about?
Your Uncle Rico made it very clear how you feel about me.
So now Deb don't really like Napoleon no more. Napoleon doesn't even try to chase her or tell her that it's all a lie. He just move on with his life. It's time for the presidential debate thing where they give their speeches, and Pedro and Napoleon didn't realize that they need a performance after their speech.
I don't have much to say.
Pedro's weak ass speech is probably the only L that he takes in this movie. Napoleon does some quick on the fly thinking to do a performance for Pedro's speech, which if he didn't do, Pedro would have lost this for sure. It sucks so fucking hard that I cannot have the music playing during this scene, but Napoleon does this crazy ass dance. He goes so fucking insane and everybody loves it. Look, if you've never seen Napoleon Dynamite, I suggest you go look up Napoleon Dynamite dance scene and watch that shit. It goes so hard. So obviously Pedro wins the presidential debate and everything goes right. Kip is a gangster ass nigga now because his ebony girlfriend turned him out. Grandma recovered from her injury and is now back home again kissing the llama. Uncle Rico is back to being a lonely loser. Pedro's family is celebrating him becoming class president. And Deb and Napoleon are playing tetherball together and they fix their issues and now they probably gonna have babies or something in the future. All in all, this is a really great and fun film. It's not really about anything at all, but it is very enjoyable. The film was made by some ambitious guys with a very low fucking budget, so I'm gonna have to give it a 10 out of 10. All my links are in the description. I have a Patreon now, and yes, I know I only have 400 subscribers, but it's just for future reference. This has been Monday Media Review with Wolfgang Chorth William. I hope if you was having a bad Monday, you having a good Monday now. See you in the next one.